In today's pool lesson, I will explain everything you need to know about aiming when using side spin on the cue ball. Aiming with side spin is one of the most difficult topics to understand for beginners because many times they don't understand how they should hit the cue ball with specific spin. To better understand this topic, I am going to analyze some different factors that are really important during this type of shots. The first really important factor we need to talk about is deflection. Deflection means that if we are hitting the cue ball with side spin, the cue ball will deflect to the opposite side of the applied spin. So if we apply left-hand English, the cue ball will deflect to the right, and if we apply right-hand English, then the cue ball will deflect to the left. Of course, this how much the cue ball deflects depends on how much spin we will use, but the speed of the shot is more crucial. When we try to play the cue ball really soft onto the ball number 4 located on the short rail, you can see that the cue ball deflects only slightly, which is almost not visible. However, if we play the same shot with the same amount of spin but with much more speed, you can see that the cue ball deflects more noticeably. Therefore, the most important conclusion is that not the amount of spin, but the speed of the shot is crucial when using side spin on the cue ball. To better illustrate how this factor affects each shot, I will show you an example where I will attempt a strike shot on ball number 4 with different spins and speeds. When playing this shot with center low spin, the cue ball perfectly hits the object ball at the correct point. However, if we apply left-hand English with a lot of speed, you can see that the cue ball deflects significantly to the right, causing ball number 4 to hit the short rail first. Similarly, applying right-hand English with a lot of speed makes the cue ball deflect to the left, missing the shot on the opposite side. The situation changes when we apply the same amount of English but using low-speed shot. In this case, the cue ball deflects but not excessively, allowing us to make ball number 4. During shots when we have some angle, we often encounter a factor that can change the trajectory of the object ball. This factor is called cut-induced throw. This means that if we have a shot with some angle and we play with center ball aiming on the ghost ball point, we might miss this shot, particularly when using low speed on the cue ball. This is because the cue ball, due to its applied speed, pushes the object ball slightly to the outside. To better visualize this effect, I will present a situation where I have placed another ball which is in touching position with object ball number 4. These two balls are aligned on a straight line with the center of the pocket. At the first look, it seems impossible that we can miss ball number 4. However, if we play with low speed on ball number 1 representing the ghost ball for this shot, you can see that ball number 4 is going in a completely wrong direction. However, in this type of shot, the speed is crucial as making ball number 4 requires using specific speed on the cue ball. And this time you can see how balls behave if we play same combination but with high speed. But if we try to play same shot but using side spin on the cue ball, then during contact with the object ball we can observe factor where cue ball transfers some spin to the object ball, and this factor is called the spin-induced throw. This means that English on the cue ball pushes the object ball to a certain side. This is clearly visible in slow motion, and if we hit the cue ball at its center, then we can see that the object ball is going perfectly straight. But if we add some side spin, then this spin on the cue ball pushes the object ball a bit to a certain side. For example, if we attempt this shot with right-hand English and low speed, the cue ball deflects only slightly and we almost hit the object ball at its ghost ball point. However, the spin-induced throw pushes the object ball slightly to the inside. The situation is quite different when we apply left-hand English with low speed. Then the cue ball pushes the object ball to the outside. The situation changes significantly if we increase the speed of the shot. For example, if we try to make this shot with right-hand English and aim on the ghost ball point, you can see a significant miss due to the dominance of deflection, which outweighs the effect of spin-induced throw. And similarly, if we attempt this shot with left-hand English and aim on the ghost ball point, we will hit the object ball too thin because the cue ball deflects considerably to the right. It is important to note that the more speed we apply to the cue ball, the less effect of spin-induced throw becomes, but the deflection becomes larger. So as you can see, the speed changes the trajectory when using side spin on the cue ball. So with this explanation, we can smoothly transition to another aspect known as aiming adjustment. As you saw before, when using side spin on the cue ball, we often struggle to hit the object ball at its ghost ball point. To fix this, we need to adjust our aiming due to factors like deflection or spin-induced throw. This means that we should aim not directly at the ghost ball point, but slightly to the left or to the right. If we try the previous situation with right hand English and high speed, we need to adjust our aim more to the right. And similarly, if we make this shot with left hand English, then we need to adjust our aim more to the left. It is clear that higher speed leads to higher deflection and consequently a larger adjustment in aiming. As you can see, factors like deflection, cut and spin-induced throw and aiming adjustment are really important during aiming with side spin. However, you need to know another crucial factor that can dramatically change the trajectory of the cue ball. Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where we need to elevate our cue stick while applying side spin. When elevating our cue stick, the speed of the shot becomes extremely important. If we attempt to play this straight shot using low speed and left-hand English, you can see that I am missing this shot completely. This introduces another significant factor known as swerve. When we make a shot with side spin and elevate our cue stick, then the cue ball spinning in different surface for a period of time, causing it to curve. And how large this curve will be depends on how much we elevate our cue stick and how much speed we will use on the cue ball. If we compare shots with the same amount of spin and high speed but different elevations of the cue stick, you can see that the cue ball's deflection remains nearly the same and we are missing the shot on ball number 4 by a similar margin. However, when we perform the same shot with the same spin and low speed, the cue ball curves differently based on the elevation of our cue stick, resulting in various points of contact with ball number 4. This swerve is clearly visible in slow motion, highlighting how the cue ball curves due to the applied spin and elevated cue. The main conclusion here is that the more we elevate the cue stick, the greater the cue ball's curve becomes. Therefore, we should only elevate the cue stick when necessary to prevent the cue ball from spinning in incorrect surfaces. All of these factors are really important to consider, but you should also be aware that there are techniques for applying spin to the cue ball, and I need to explain how to use these techniques and when. Firstly, we can apply spin with automatic adjustment. This is typical for more experienced pool players who know where to hit the cue ball and how much deflection to expect during a specific shot. However, there are two other techniques involving backhand English and fronthand English. These two techniques are entirely different and can be used in distinct situations, which I will illustrate later. Using side spin with backhand English means that if we are aiming at the center of the cue ball, we need to apply side spin by moving our backhand to the left or to the right, without moving our bridge. On the other hand, using side spin with fronthand English involves applying side spin by moving our front hand without moving our grip. These techniques work differently, and if we compare them on a particular shot, the effects become evident. For example, if we apply spin with backhand English and execute a high-speed shot, you can see that my aiming point is in a completely different spot. However, the deflection during the shot pushes the cue ball back towards the correct direction, allowing us to pot the ball. The situation changes when we are using fronthand English. In this case, my aiming point is not as far from the original, but when executing the shot, the cue ball's direction caused it to hit the object ball inaccurately. The scenario changes dramatically when we change the speed of the shot. When we are using low speed shot and apply spin using backhand English, the cue ball's direction caused it to miss the object ball's intended point of contact. With fronthand English, the cue ball's direction doesn't change much and it makes contact at a point that is enough to pot the ball. But the length of our bridge is crucial when using backhand English. If we shorten the bridge length, the cue ball won't deflect enough during a high-speed shot, causing it to miss the object ball's correct point of contact. Consequently, increasing the length of the bridge allows the cue ball to hit the object ball closer to its ghost ball point. The situation changes again during low-speed shots, where only a longer bridge allows us to hit the object ball accurately. In contrast, the length of the bridge is less important when using fronthand English. During high-speed shots, the object ball's point of contact is missed in all scenarios, while during low-speed shots, the point of contact is accurate in all situations. From this, we can conclude that backhand English should be employed for high-speed and short-distance shots, while fronthand English is more suitable for low-speed and long-distance shots. As you can see, aiming when using side spin on the cue ball is one of the most challenging and crucial aspects in pool games. It requires careful attention to factors like deflection, cut and spin induced throw, swerve, aiming adjustment, and backhand and fronthand English techniques. By incorporating these considerations into your practice sessions, you will gain a deeper understanding of how the cue ball behaves in various shot scenarios. This knowledge will help you to become a better and more consistent pool player. If you found this lesson helpful, then please consider giving it a thumbs up and share your opinion in the comments. If you enjoy my content, then consider hitting the subscribe button to keep you updated with more videos like this. Thank you for watching guys, and as always, I hope we will see in the next lesson. Take care!